Happy Monday to you. Thanks for clicking on us and chatting live with us. So I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It was beautiful, sunny, warm. It was, I didn't thank you.
Yeah, we're not giving you any.
I've made no mention of the meteorologist.
Really?
But yes, okay. Rob, thank you so much for that incredible weather. It was also the first weekend that, yeah, thanks a lot, Rod.
That's today's weather.
On the same side of the coin.
Where we need rain. At?
Newport.
We need to rejoice in rain. We need to rejoice.
We need it, yes. Yeah. So this was also the first weekend that mask mandates have kind of come down now from the CDC and the government, saying those who are fully vaccinated, you don't need to wear masks now in, many more situations than before. Still recommending it inside crowded places. And what I think is funny is, they're going to rely on the honor system. For people who are unvaccinated, they are being recommended to still wear their masks. So we're asking you guys, did you notice any change? It was very beautiful out. We went for walks. I noticed far fewer people outside just walking in the park and in the neighborhood wearing masks than normal. I went to the grocery store, and in many grocery stores, they are still required in many stores. And everyone was wearing their mask where I was shopping. But what did you guys notice? What did you see? Rod, you had a couple stories, right?
Well, so Chuck's Produce and Grocery, they have at least a couple locations up in the Vancouver area. Uh-huh. They're one of the grocery stores that, and I did verify this because I was curious. So I went to the customer desk and I said, I want to be clear. And they did verify that they are not requiring mask in their stores, I suppose technically for vaccinated people, but certainly seem to be leaving it up to the honor system. I would say when I was in there, it was probably 90% of the customers overall had masks on and about 10% didn't. They did tell me that all of their employees are still required to wear a mask.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a good report from Chuck's. I mean, that's kind of a little slice of what's happening out there. As you were starting to talk about that, Nina, just grocery stores in general, I realized it was a rare weekend for me where I did not step foot into a grocery store Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but I did have a, the first interesting experience, I would call it, on Friday night, where we just dropped our boys off for like a baseball deal. They had an hour of hitting, so my wife and I was like, we dropped them off and didn't want to go all the way home, so we said, let's go grab a drink for happy hour outside. Nice. Good idea, right?
Yes.
Bonding time for husband and wife.
Yeah, very nice.
Did we pay our taxes yet? I think was the conversation. Anyways, so we, you step inside to get the table outside, and so I stepped inside and had a mask on to walk in the door to say, can we get a table outside? The man inside had a mask on. He said, oh, absolutely. It's first come, first serve. If you see one out there, go grab it. Yeah. So we walk out there, take the masks off, we walk in the back, we sit down, we grab a table. Waitress comes out to service, no mask on. And I thought that was the first time that we've eaten outdoors where the server didn't actually have a mask on themselves.
Huh, interesting.
Did you ask about it?
No, I didn't. Brenda was off the clock and not doing any sort of reporting at the time. But I can tell you that it was completely no masks on this porch area that we were sitting at. Like there were and everyone else obviously sitting down eating and drinking, so I didn't expect that. But then the servers who were outside were not wearing masks. There were at least a total of 2, maybe 3 that I saw. But again, inside on, outside for the staff, not on.
Interesting, because I went to, I think it's called Tim's Garden Center out in Happy Valley, because we were, planting some veggies, and everybody in there had a mask on still. And I just today, actually, Nina and I both, because we got our second shots on the same day, we are now officially fully vaccinated.
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so was Rod Hill.
Rod.
Yeah.
At least one.
You're coming up on Thursday.
Thursday was my official, fully vaccinated day. I'll tell you one other experience that I found interesting. Didn't know how this was going to turn out because our boys had a baseball tournament, and we, have those not every weekend, but many weekends. And since last July, when they got back onto the field for the first time until this weekend, every tournament they've played at, the kids on the field have had to wear masks on the baseball field. Parents have also. Anyone who comes onto the grounds of these tournaments has to wear a mask, social distance. In fact, a lot of times over the last year, you've been limited in how many people you can allow to come with you. Maybe one parent per child or 2 max, no grandparents. Anyways, got the rules before this tournament saying no dogs. It's a big rule for us. That means we have to do something with Blaze. Blaze can't come.
Yeah.
Masks worn by all players and all parents. 3, there's going to be an admission, which there usually isn't. So we're like, okay, we got to pay.
You have to pay for your own kid to be
typically
in
not,
the
but
thing?
at this one we were told yes, it was going to be $5 an adult each day. Get there.
Wow, that makes your kid a professional ball player. Very impressive.
We get there, and there is nobody taking admission. So that was right out the door. That wasn't happening. I'd say 80% of the people inside are not wearing masks. I mean, I'm not coming, that could be on the low end of that guesstimation. But 80% of the adults who were there to watch their kid play, not wearing masks. 20%, I'd say, still were. And then the kids, it was sort of like, decide on your own. Do you want to, do you not? And Saturday, our kids were, and I'll tell you that on Sunday, yesterday during the games, our team was going without a mask, save for maybe 3 kids out of the
So is
11.
that like, is that a new rule within the league, or it was just like, we'll try it?
No one was going, no one was saying anything. The umpires weren't wearing masks. Some of the kids we were playing against on Saturday weren't wearing them. And then, my wife and I told our boys, honestly, we said, if you don't want to wear a mask when you're out there playing on the field, you don't have to wear a mask. Which I always thought was a little strange anyway. Dugout, I understood. But when you're out there in the middle of center field, what's with the mask? You're outdoors, you're 12 years old, you're playing a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Shall we get some comments from the stream? Renee Robertson, good morning to you. She says, I think the honor system is a joke. Sure, there are some honest folks out there, but I don't know, fully vaccinated, but I still plan to wear a mask in crowded stores and crowded areas.
It's sad that I saw several people make that same comment, and it's, I don't know, I don't disagree, but it's a sad reflection at the same time, isn't it? That we are skeptical about the honor system. Well, anyway.
Dear Lord,
it's
we are
because
way past that, my friend.
Aren't we taught to not trust anyone? Like sort of growing up, don't trust anybody.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just trust everybody?
Oh, Howard Wright says, not much different. I didn't go anywhere except for covering the blessing of the fleet on a Coast Guard boat. And we still had to mask up because we were on federal property.
Oh, that's cool.
Got it.
Huh. My family, my wife has not been vaccinated. I am. So we were in the store and Grayson had a mask on and I didn't. So there's an example of the honor system working. Yeah.
I'm taking a wait and see approach. My thing that I am super excited to be and to do is fully vaccinated and having family over in our house, unmasked. My son still hasn't been in our house, and we've, moved in, was it in November now?
Yeah.
So I can't wait. He's fully vaccinated. Everybody in our family is fully vaccinated. We were the last ones for a variety of reasons, just because, the way the age groups and whatever turned out. But that's what I want to do. There's no place I really, really want to go right now. I just want to see my family again.
Yeah.
You better cook something nice, Brenda, to make it worth their while. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah,
Don't
I will.
let
I
them
think I'll
down.
have a little dinner and invite Zach over.
I certainly am not assuming that every time I see an unmasked person now, that person is vaccinated, right? I think we all can agree that that's not going to happen. That's not going to be the case.
Yeah.
What we do know is that half the state, right, 16 and older, has been vaccinated, fully vaccinated to this point. Aren't those basically the latest numbers we have in Oregon? Half the state or more has been fully vaccinated to this point. We'll get our producers to work on the confirmation of that.
Where'd you see that?
Like a week ago in our scripts, maybe it was one shot.
I want to say 54%.
I think it was the one.
I think so too.
One shot? Okay, so I'll take that. I'll dial that back a bit. I'll dial that back a shot. 50% of our population has gotten at least the first shot, which I would like to think that means they're halfway to getting that fully vaccinated status. And if they've had the J&J shot, they are fully vaccinated. Anyway, my point is this: if that many people have been vaccinated already, I'm only worried about half the population to begin with. And what percentage of those people are the ones out there not wearing a mask? I guess I'm saying is I don't want to spend my time worrying about who is and who isn't vaccinated. I'm going to assume that, we're going to get through this now because I at least am vaccinated. My family is, and you guys are. And hopefully, the people that I truly care about have gotten taken care of to where we're not going to be worried about ourselves.
Yeah.
Looks like we're about 37 plus or minus to 39% of Oregon fully vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated.
Kind of piggyback on what Drew was saying, though. My thoughts were when I was in the grocery store, I'm looking around. I mentioned about 90% of the people had masks, and I'm assuming, because of what Drew just said, that a significant proportion of those people, in fact, have been fully vaccinated, but were still choosing to wear their masks. So, there's lots of different angles and interesting things to look at this and kind of go,
Yeah.
So, Nina, did you see Ruth Lord was asking a question? She said, I'm fully vaccinated, yay, but can businesses even ask about shots, or is it a HIPAA violation?
I read this weekend it is not a HIPAA violation. but it was such a, I did not dive into that.
Like to ask to see someone's vaccine card or something like that?
Right, like a restaurant, for example.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think that it's a violation.
I'm going to go back on our website and get the actual wording off the article, because we had that article on our website this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Eric Schwarm says employers need to take responsibility for their employees who are not vaccinated. And then Eric says the rest who don't want the vaccine have made a choice.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer Taft says trust but verify.
Oh, it sounds like a Cajun
kind of our motto.
slogan.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, individual stores and businesses, they can make their own policy and it's not violating anything. It is the, no shoes, no shirt, no service type of thing. And so, a lot of big chains, Kroger, which operates QFC and Fred Meyer, Safeway and Albertsons, they have said we are going to keep our mask policies in the store. Costco is saying you can take the mask off. And I think Starbucks is saying keep it on. Mm-hmm. And so different companies are kind of, being asked and forced to make a decision and, either keep it or get rid of it.
With Costco, if you're not going to give me samples, then I might as well just wear my mask.
You have that easy access to
my food comment for
the mouth.
The snacks. Did you see Corey Ann Woodward? This is another interesting one. She said, I went into Trader Joe's without a mask because that is their policy now. I asked if they needed to see my vaccination card because I'm fully vaccinated. They said no, just socially distance. I walked all around, no one said a thing, and everyone else was wearing a mask.
Well, there you go.
But we're in that trend. Don't you think it's a fairly true statement to say, assuming everything keeps moving in a positive direction, that this is the beginning of the big transition? Don't you think that's a fair statement of where we're going to start seeing things relaxed a little bit more, and then slowly but surely vaccinated people who aren't comfortable right now, who are still choosing to wear their masks, slowly in the coming weeks we may see more and more of those people feeling comfortable without the mask. So it's an interesting time for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I'm not going to read this whole article.
What's the answer?
It is it is lengthy, but the question was clearly stated. Is a business asking a customer about their vaccination status a violation of HIPAA? And we ran a whole Verify report on this that you can find right now on KGW.com that says the answer is no. Most businesses would not violate HIPAA by asking about a customer's vaccination status, and they used sources including the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Again, if you go on KGW.com right now and just search HIPAA violation businesses.
Does it say why or have any kind of reason?
You want to? I can start. I was trying to come up with a summary. But the first two paragraphs were not very good at the summarization. The CDC says HIPAA is a federal law that required the creation of national standards to protect sensitive patient and health information. One of the rules created to protect people's health is the privacy rule. There are 3 different categories of covered entities. I'm scamming down to the
yada yada.
HHS says protected health information under HIPAA includes information that relates to a person's past, present, or future. Oh, geez. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Real time, folks. It's okay.
I liked it better when I said to read the article.
So it doesn't fall under the category of vaccine. Go ahead.
I'm going to read this quote without having read it until now. But a lawyer and bioethicist.
Okay.
Never even heard of that title. A lawyer and bioethicist. Also the associate director at the University of Michigan Center for Bioethics and Social Sciences says this: people often feel like HIPAA protects them from being asked about their medical information or prohibits other people from asking about their medical information. Neither is true. HIPAA prohibits health professionals, such as your doctor, from sharing your identified health information without your permission in most circumstances. People can always ask about your health information, and you can almost always decline to answer, but answering health questions might come at a cost, such as not being able to enter your workplace or board a plane.
Okay.
Okay, let's go
around. So it prevents a medical entity.
That's the last paragraph, by the way.
No, but that's very important because it prevents a medical entity from releasing that. But if a civilian or whoever just asks for, I mean, you can't be punished for asking a question, you know, like a business. And if you say, I don't want to say, then that business says, well, then you cannot come in.
It's like a tennis match.
Yes.
They have the ball first, they pass to you, you decide what to do with it, and either pass it back to them or say, I'm done.
Yeah, and you have the total freedom to say, I don't want to answer that, but then they right back have the freedom to say no entrance, you know, and so there you go.
Jen Carlson says that she went hiking, didn't wear a mask, but gave others lots of space, and she's fully vaccinated. Kate Heisman says she's vaccinated. My husband is being anti-vax, though, she says. So it's like split among the couple.
Interesting within households like that, you know?
That's called marriage.
Right? One person is one way and the other is the other.
And Jerry says, I will keep my mask on inside public places, vaccine or not. Since the vaccine doesn't prevent you from getting it or giving it, which she's talking about 100%, which is true, I believe. My husband is high risk. I don't want to bring any extra germs to him, so she's still being very careful for obvious reasons.
And Jennifer Watson says, I will not vaccinate and I won't wear a mask. So there you have.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to why. If you want to type some more, we'll read it and see what she's thinking, where she's coming from.
But it is also, like we were talking about last week, it's just, you know, you've done something now for a year almost, and it feels weird to not do it anymore, even though, you know, that's why you got the vaccine, maybe if you did. And it's to get to this point where we are. But yeah, it does feel weird to not do something that's now become habit or, you know, mandated or whatever.
Yeah,
it's the transitions.
In the grocery store, I did. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I felt a little naked. It was almost strange not having a mask on.
Right. You know, this is going to be the trickiest part of getting out of the pandemic, or coming out of the pandemic is going to be trickier than dealing with the pandemic in social situations, right? Because before it was easy. You know, we have these mask guidelines in place. People chose to either wear the mask or not. I feel like, generally speaking, most fell in line with that based on grocery store and Home Depot experiences, right?
Yeah.
I mean, masks were pretty much on every face.
Yeah.
But you still had your exceptions. Now it's, hey, start taking off your masks if you're vaccinated.
Yeah.
And how the heck are we going to know?
Yeah.
Because there was those people who were never wearing their masks, who certainly aren't going to care about the vaccination or not at this point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is weird. Like, you know, we had a babysitter on Saturday, and so we went out to dinner with another couple, and then one of my dearest friends who just moved back from the Bay Area. She's a nurse. Everyone, you know, has had all their shots and everything. And so I posted, like, you know, a little thing on Instagram of like, oh, we went out to this restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, it's so wonderful to be out, seeing fully vaxxed friends catching up on such a beautiful night. Well, someone said, well, what about your friends that aren't vaxxed? I can't stand these new phrases that are coming out and how we're using them and interacting with each other. It's a sad state of things. And I said, yeah, I get it. You know, because of the job that I do, I feel like I have to have those words in there, you know, or I get comments to the other of like, how could you be going out and sitting at a table, you know, right next to somebody? And so I feel like I have to quantify it by saying, oh, there you got, you know, you got the shots. And I said, either way, there's social media shaming going on, and that's a sad state too, person that's social media shaming me right there. And so he wrote back and said, it's political theater, just like we've all been doing. It's still sad. Slowly but surely, we're getting back to normal. And so I was like, I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like no matter what you do, there's always going to be people talking about it.
Hey, Jennifer Watson got back. She says, I won't vaccinate because I am allergic to ingredients in it, and wearing a mask makes my immune system low, that I will get anybody else sick, or, you know, people sick. What did she say? I'm sorry. I'm allergic to ingredients in it, and wearing a mask makes my immune system low, that I will get sick to everything.
Her next comment is a little more clear on how she feels. Her next comment, Rod, read, our immune systems, this is her feelings, Jennifer Watson, our immune systems, she says, are shot at this point because of a year plus of mask wearing. When the masks come off, we're all going to catch all the germs, COVID or otherwise.
Well, we have been suppressing getting sick, that's for sure.
Yes.
Generally speaking, the Tom, Dick, and Harry, you know, viruses last winter and the really bad colds, it just seemed like a lot of us escaped that, right?
Yeah,
So
not sharing germs as much. Brian on YouTube, hey everyone watching on YouTube, thanks for chiming in. He says, why are vaccinated people, why should they care about the people who aren't? Vaccines work and people need to act like it. That is true, Brian, I agree. You know, like if it's giving more power to the, I guess, kind of anti-vax crowd, and it's almost kind of spurring them on, saying, hey, see, you guys have the vaccine, but you're still scared of it. I thought the vaccines work, and you're supposed to, like, pump up that fact. So right. I kind of agree.
And I think that, I've heard people say as well within the last week that it's time to get back to it, because the people who are vaccinated can't let people who aren't vaccinated stop them from doing things, stop the economy from getting back. Yeah. So they're like, done with you, we're moving on, we're protected.
Yeah, good. Kate says Target had some people without a mask, but I think I think they kept their mask policy, so maybe there was some.
But KGW.com had an article this morning that said they have since revised that.
Oh, Target has, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I know for me personally, every single time now moving forward, I will visually look to see if they have the mask sign in the window or on the door, right? And then if they do, I'll have my mask in my pocket and I'll whip it out and put it on. Yep. And if they don't, I'll just mosey on in. Yeah.
Jennifer Watson coming back and thanking you, Rod, for reading her comment. She says, thank you for reading comments who are anti-vax. I think both sides need to be heard. And honestly, that's what we try to do every day on Sunrise Extra. Bring up a topic, hear both sides, let you guys make your own choices and your own decision. I will tell you a real quick anecdote from this baseball weekend on Saturday. First day, my son was pitching in the final game, last couple innings. And again, I'm thinking you're on literally on an island by yourself on the pitching mound, right? No one's there to help you or be around you in any way, shape, or form. I said, hey, you can. He came in off the mound after one inning. I went over. I said, hey, you can lose your mask if you're out there by yourself on the pitching mound. He said, I want to keep it. That way they can't see my emotions. I was like, all right. I'll see if he feels that way when it's 95. But
yeah, no kidding.
I said, I can't argue with that. Good luck, son.
That's awesome.
Good for him. Strategy. Okay, you guys have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.